I am a member of the Omaha tribe of Nebraska. My mother, Alicia Parker, had me when she was about 15 years old, and we moved off reservation. So I didn't grow up on the reservation here, but I grew up mainly in Sioux City and Omaha. You can see traces of Dr. Picotte, especially in Walt Hill, Nebraska. We have a memorial hospital that she built during her lifetime, and it still stands today. There was a group in the 1980s that restored it and also did a lot of research and made it into a museum so people can come here and visit and learn more about her. And also with Susan, you can see her portrait in the hospitals that are here for the reservation. I think her legacy was that, or is today, is that if you're going to learn anything from her, is that you want to help your community the best you can. You know, in her field, it was medicine, and it was to bring the latest technology of medicine from her time to the people here. That's why she wanted a hospital here, not we have to go drive somewhere, but to bring it here for the people. So taking care of your family, taking care of your relations, and providing the best you can with, you know, your passions. She was described as a shorter, slim kind of woman, but she had a lot of force. People said she had a lot of quiet force, and so I just thought that was cool. So the town itself is actually named after our tribe, and it just makes sense that they would name a school after, you know, a prominent member of the tribe. So I feel like it's a no-brainer. During her time, it was, you know, women were expected to, you know, live proper lives, which is Victorian mind frame, which is where, you know, you dress like a lady, you have your dress, and you're going to marry well, or you're going to marry, and you're going to raise children and provide for the household, the family. It wasn't expected for women to go out and get an education and or, you know, pursue their own interests, really. So today, a lot of women are actually a lot of Native women are actually going out to school a lot more than the men are. And so it's kind of different today. Yes, I've done a lot of research on Susan, and so there's a lot of photographs around of the Omaha Indians, you know, around the time she was living. I've done a lot of research in her letters that she actually wrote and people saved, and they're in museums now. I've done a lot of research on newspaper clippings where she actually wrote articles to the newspaper or was quoted in them and things like that. So any kind of writing out there that mentions Susan or Susan wrote, I've researched a lot of those, and a lot of the photographs too. And so one of the more surprising things, I guess, was some of her letters she wrote home to her older sister Rosalie, and this was when she was maybe just starting medical school, or maybe it was when she went to Hampton University. But she used to like there was a student there that his name was Thomas Nkipi, and he was a Sioux Indian, and she had a crush on him, and he had a crush on her, and it was surprising because I had heard about it and read about it in other books that, you know, I read about books about her that said she used to call him T.I. in her letters, and she would write to her sister about T.I., and I guess he was really, really smitten with her and everything like that. And in some of her letters, I actually got to read for myself and transcribe. There was a whole letter about how I think it was like over Christmas break, they all went to a school together called Hampton Institute, and it was around Christmas time, and they were all doing this like dance. They were playing games and things like that, and she was just writing so much about him. And so what was more surprising is that in a letter later on, you could just tell she likes him and he likes her, and you get in a letter later on, she's writing to her sister saying, I think I'm just going to be an old maid. I want to go to school. And the ladies that were going to help her pay for her education, be a doctor, they were saying, we won't pay if you marry this guy, And so she just chose to, I'm going to be an old maid. And she chose to keep her path on the medical degree path. So it was just a drastic change in her tone, like, oh, he's so great, and blah, blah, blah. And then it goes to, well, I wish him luck, and, things like that. So I thought it was a really good story, and I liked being able to, discover little things like that when I do my own research. And I guess for me, why I wanted to do Dr. Susan Picotte was because she's one from my tribe, two, and a pioneer woman, in the late 1800s doing, becoming a doctor. Just the strength and character that she must have had to do that. Because I think at every step of the way in her life, she was going against the grain, And that makes sense because the Omaha, when you say Omaha, it means to go upriver. And that's kind of what the people are named from, because we used to be in a big group of people that we branched off and went upriver. And so it makes sense that she was doing the same in her time.